Once upon a time, there was an old man named Grandpa Joe who lived in a cozy little house on the edge of the forest. Grandpa Joe was well into his 80s, with wrinkles on his face that marked every laugh and every tear he'd ever had. His hair was as white as the first snowfall, and he wore round glasses that sat low on his nose. Every weekend, his grandson Max would come to visit. Max was 7 years old, full of energy, and always had a million questions to ask. He loved spending time with Grandpa Joe, who seemed to know everything about the world. Together, they would sit on the wooden bench in Grandpa Joe's backyard, looking out at the forest. One Saturday morning, Max asked, "Grandpa, have you ever seen something magical?" Grandpa Joe's eyes twinkled. "Ah, magic, you say? I've seen many magical things, Max. But real magic, that's something special. It's something you feel in here." He tapped his chest right over his heart. Max tilted his head, puzzled but intrigued. "Can we go find magic today?" Grandpa Joe chuckled, his laughter like a soft rumble. "All right, my boy, let's go find magic." So the two of them set off into the forest, Grandpa Joe leading the way with his wooden walking stick and Max skipping beside him. The trees were tall and ancient, their branches reaching high into the sky, and the leaves created a soft whispering sound as they danced in the breeze. As they walked deeper, Grandpa Joe began to tell Max stories of his youth. He spoke of the times he'd spent exploring these woods, of the animals he had seen, and the adventures he'd had. Max listened, wide-eyed, imagining his grandpa as a young man, brave and strong. "Now, Max," Grandpa Joe said after a while, "magic doesn't look like what you see in books. It's not a wizard with a wand or a dragon breathing fire. Sometimes it's in the simplest things, like the way the sun shines through the trees, or the way a squirrel leaps from one branch to another." Just then, they came across a small clearing where wildflowers bloomed in every color you could imagine. Grandpa Joe knelt down and picked a tiny blue flower, handing it to Max. "Here's a piece of magic for you." Max took the flower, looking at it carefully. It didn't sparkle or glow, but as he looked at it, he felt something warm, something special, just like Grandpa Joe had said. They sat down together, and Grandpa Joe put an arm around Max. "The real magic, Max, is the time we spend together. That's something you can't see or touch, but you'll feel it, even when I'm not around." Max leaned his head on his grandpa's shoulder, holding the flower tightly in his hand. He didn't quite understand all of Grandpa Joe's words, but he knew they were important. And in that moment, surrounded by the beauty of the forest and the warmth of his grandpa's love, Max felt a magic he would remember for the rest of his life.